Everyone, I'm Professor McCoy. Welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance. Get into things. We have a little bit left of this game, probably this week and next week, if I had to guess, based on what mostly Dominic, I guess, have been saying. Hours left. I may also cut the stream a little bit short. If I find a reasonable stopping point anytime after 11 or so, I will probably take it, just because I have to get up quite early tomorrow morning. So that is. Oh, I shouldn't. Just as a forewarning, like I said, I might may wind up wrapping a little early tonight. Maybe not though. Might be fine. Be just fine. I do want to try and find Sir Barnard, because I believe there may be other quests and tasks, things meant to be done, he might have to tell us. And I presume
proper siege engineer, and a good thing too.
It would be up at that top camp. He would be at that top camp. Because I did not see him down here or at the other camp over yonder. Oh, let's head up. There's the trail.
Yeah.
Let's head up here. Oh, never mind. That is a burnt-out house. Ooh. Was this place, like, very recently attacked? Like, did this get taken down by the invaders? In a way that I hadn't noticed?
Yeah.
It's odd. Anyway, here's the camp. We are. Okay. Anyway. What is that? Robard. Robard may have something for me, so let's go and see if we can find him, huh? A guard. Villager. Singing. Very military camp sing-songing kind of thing. Love that kind of stuff. Where is Robard? His horse is here. Where is he? Just a horse. Huh. Yeah, oh well. Continue to wander about. He's got to be around here somewhere, right? I guess I can also just talk to the our architect over here. Where's the new guy, the visiting architect? I would have thought he'd be right around here. Oh, also interesting. We have a straight little shot here to basically invade. Huh. Interesting. They're not shooting at me. I honestly kind of expected to come over here and just get shot at. But I guess not. They're probably doing the relatively reasonable thing and just hunkering down. There's a guy up there on the ramparts with a bow. He's not shooting at me, so... And again, unfortunate. Well, I was about to say it's unfortunate that there's no there's no additional like a Salligate kind of thing. That's what it's called, right? But at the same time, it is probably quite fortunate that there isn't one, because that would have allowed for invasion far more easily. So, what are you going to do? That is, of course, the trouble of when someone manages to take your fortification in a way that does not destroy your fortification. That is a terrible circumstance, because you have now all of your resources tied up in the thing that you have just lost, and they're being employed against you directly. Oh, there he is. There's Conrad, our visiting architect. You bet Tobias.
God be with you, lad. What can I do for you?
Master Fafar, how's the trebuchet construction going?
Much better now that I have Master Kaiser to help me. Although, to be quite honest, it's more a case of me helping him. I'm taking note and learning as I go.
Next time round, you'll be the siege master.
I rather hope they won't be here next time.
I mean, it's always a service that you can therefore offer to your lord for, if any of the the lords of Lipa, I guess is the province, have any need to besiege a castle. Now we have a local expert-ish, I guess. I mean, that's how most people learn most things anyway. Is you ask somebody else to help you, and you very carefully learn it.
How's work going with Master Kaiser?
Excellent. His knowledge of machinery and mechanics is absolutely astonishing. He's a very gifted man.
So you're confident the trebuchet will do its job?
Absolutely. It's plain to see Master Kaiser knows exactly what he's doing.
How much longer do you think it will take?
I wouldn't like to hazard a guess. As I understand it, the base is quick to make, but the other parts are more complicated. And then there's all the balancing and setting the trajectory and range.
I see. Well, I hope it's ready soon.
So do I, Henry. See you later.
I'd ask how's life in Rattay, but we're nowhere near Rattay. So. Huh. We're working on that base. Was that the ladder? Where in the world is Robar? His horse is here. Gotta be around here somewhere, right? Well, I don't know. Well, I'm not quite sure what else I really need to be doing. I suppose I can talk to Master Kaiser. I do have some side quests, sort of. Or I have activities, not side quests. Get them to help recapture Talmberg. Wait till the trebuchet is finished. Like I said, I could just wait 3 days, or however many days it is. How am I going to bring boar meat to the Chamberlain at Talmberg? I assume that he's... I mean, maybe he is out here with us. That'd be nice. I'd like to hope so. I'm just gonna do a little bit of traveling after I talk to Conrad.
Are you alright?
Just wander around and see what I find.
All right. All right! He tried to kill me!
But... It seemed like...
It was Pekar! He's lying right there! And you let him go! You told me to my face that I had nothing to fear! Keep out of my sight, you hear? I might have been killed for pity's sake!
Yes, but you're fine.
Are you alright?
All right. Oh,
But...
it was... And you keep out of my...
Okay, he's just mad at me. I mean, understandable, I suppose. I get it. I get why he's mad. But all's well that ends well, right? Everything's fine. Alright, well, I can't find Robart. So, whatever. I'm just gonna go take a ride to the other camps. Go between them one more time, just to see how things are doing. And I will probably just kind of ride off for a while. Go elsewhere for the time being. Back up to Privislavitz, something like that. That other camp on the absolute far side of the castle.
Yeah.
I can just go through the moat ditch thing. Speaking of which, I've mentioned that I've been sort of working on a design for a castle town really, for my D&D setting. I found a great piece of software that I've been using to design the layout of the town. Maybe I will maybe next week, if we finish before midnight, we finish the game before midnight. That'll be something I can bring up and show. Because I'm pretty pleased with how it's turned out. It's pretty cool. It is I think it's called Flowscape is the game software thing. It's pretty great. I would definitely recommend it. You can find it on Steam. Probably other places, but Steam probably primarily. Just like one dev. It's like $10 or something. And it is a 3D design suite for like landscapes, and it works really well for like medieval towns and villages, and also just generally landscape type stuff. Really cool. It is very, very cool. I do recommend it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. I like it. It does its job pretty well. The controls are a little bit wonky. You kind of have to get used to some things, but once you get used to it, you can do pretty much whatever you need to do with it. And so I used that to sort of put together a castle that I was kind of talking about last week. I've done this since then. Last week I was talking about the use of this castle. This castle being a sort of the concept behind it is an older Mott and Bailey style castle that has gradually developed itself, or been developed, rebuilt, reconfigured, etc., into something more like a stone castle.
But even if they did, what would we do then? So Divish for sure.
And so I've got a pretty good layout for it. Again, roughly design principles and technology and aesthetics, roughly 13th century, because the 13th is that greatest of centuries.
Jesus Christ be praised.
Well, never mind.
Farewell.
Nothing new to say. Nothing either. Guess nobody's really got much to say. The Nicodemus? Oh, no?
May the Lord watch over you.
Well, okay. Assume there is more to be done here. Maybe I'll go to that camp one more time, see if there's anybody over there.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at that.
Yeah.
It's hard because I'm switching between the B button and the X button to jump. This B button is sprint and X button is jump, and they're opposite sides. Which honestly is, I think, a weakness of the Xbox controller compared to, of all things, that wonderful, venerable GameCube controller, where from the A button you can hit X, Y, or B without any problems, without like moving your thumb substantially. It's just nice. Really, one of those brilliant design points that Nintendo did very well that look so unconventional to modern gaming audiences who are so used to like very symmetrically laid out controllers, whereas the GameCube thing is this warbly thing that looks kind of like a mess, but just works so well.
That was years ago, against the Turks. Sigismund was on good terms with his brother then.
Robart's not here either.
So it seems a bit peculiar to me.
Interesting. All right. Well, I'm gonna go take a trip. It's pretty late in the day. I'm gonna take a trip up to Privoslavets. Seeing as I'm right nearby anyway, just go. Sleep there tonight. Then wander around further if need be. It's dark. Anyway, well, I've been, I've an odd thought I had the other recently. I was thinking back, for some reason, the fourth season of Stranger Things popped into my mind. The most recent one, that I thought was excellent. It was very good. Now, I will say, now that the shine is worn off a little bit, it is... I can acknowledge that it was sort of flawed. It was not, like, perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It was... Because it had sort of three separate plots, I would say that the three separate plots are sort of ranked A, B, and C, in terms of not just the fact that there are these three plots, one being the primary one, and then sort of a couple of secondary ones, all of which sort of gradually merge together. Except for really the Russia one, kind of its own side thing. It was only there to keep people apart and use extra time and to show that the Russians are experimenting with the Upside Down. But whatever, I don't like it. Let me put it this way. I think I would. Okay, so let me put this through in a more organized manner. I would say that the plot in Hawkins is an absolute A-ranked, excellent storyline. The characters are fantastic. Their interactions and developments are so good. The mystery there and the way that they wind up solving it themselves without really having to defer to any of the other groups. It's incredibly satisfying. It's very well put together. And it has Eddie, who is like might be my favorite character from the show. And he also, I will note, died as an absolute hero. And I'm a little bit worried that they might somehow try and resurrect him, which they absolutely should not do, because his death was incredible. It was amazing. That little conversation between oh gosh, what's his name? The kid and Eddie's uncle. That is just so unbelievably heart-wrenching. It was excellent. It was so good. So yeah, all of that was just phenomenal. Also, as a friend of mine pointed out, something really interesting about Eddie, he so the like legendary moment, his moment of heroism where he stands on top of the roof in the Upside Down and plays the guitar solo from Master of Puppets. It was pointed out to me that at the time the game came out, not the game, at the time, sorry, at the time the season, at the time the series takes place, rather, Master of Puppets had only been out, had only even been released at all. Like, the album had only come out. I think like a month prior, at most. And so, and this was the 80s. This was the time before there were, there were sheet music or tabs or anything released for new music. This was a time when if you wanted to learn to play a song you heard on the radio, you just had to listen to it, figure it out. And so Eddie, this guy who, this like 20-year-old high school student guy, in a matter of weeks, learns, memorizes basically the entire song of Master of Puppets by ear, and then plays it perfectly in a life or death situation. Like, it's incredible. It's really incredible. Yeah, a friend of mine pointed this out who plays guitar, and he was like, he realized this when he was thinking over how, and because somebody else was saying something like, well, it's kind of unrealistic that he would be playing Master of Puppets, because didn't it come out like after the series happened? I was like, no, it came out right before this season takes place, and so for it to be for Eddie to know it that well is possible, but man, it really speaks to his incredible talent and skill. Anyway, that is something interesting that I had noticed. Thought was that was pointed out to me. I can't take credit. Something else that was pointed out to me about it that I found really fascinating. That's very, very cool. I'm gonna go check out Scallots while I'm over here. Why not? See if there's anything over there worth checking out. So the A plot in Hawkins, absolutely great, absolute A rank, fantastic storyline, some great characters, great character interactions and developments and all that stuff. With Snare.
This won't take long.
Where could he have vanished? He must be here somewhere.
Curse it!
Oh, geez. Okay, there's a lot of heavily armored knights here. I've got to go. I'm out of here.
Bring it on.
Is that all you got?
Is that the best you can? Where could...
You'll get what for?
Where the hell is my horse? There he is. Come on.
What's the matter? Come on.
What's the matter? Come on.
Come on. This is so ridiculous. No.
I'm going to enjoy it. Oh dear, did that hurt? God! Ah! You're dead.
all you got. Yeah. Missed.
You call that combat? Come here, Billy Liver. We're going to cry. You can do. Shit.
I'll swallow you. Well,
I'm going to enjoy this.
Oh, the trebuchet's done. I better go.
Got weak at the knees, have you?
You'll get one for.
Jesus Christ.
Ah! Where's my horse?
Is that?
Why? Oh my god. There is no, like, disengage.
Bring it on.
There's no easy ability to disengage. Not even easy, not even a hard ability to disengage. Because of how the camera works, it is basically impossible.
Where could he have vanished to? Yeah, must be here somewhere. Yeah. Come here, Lily Liver. Yeah. Yeah. Is that all? Yeah. You'll get what for. I'll find you.
I mean, I could just leave them at this point. That'd probably be the wise decision. Yeah, but I gotta figure out which way to go. That's all. Back to Pripyatlavets. Okay. Which does mean I have to go the other way. Okay.
What the fuck are you looking for?
They're back. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, which way back to Pripyatlavets? Or 38 and we still can't find. Listen, I can. I tried to decide not to. When I saw that there was like 4 guys. 5? I think there was 5. All with you know, full kit harness. I didn't want to fight that. But I probably could have. The problem, of course, being that I decided not to, and rather than fighting, I tried to get away, and then I got my ass kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem was trying desperately to disengage and get back to my horse. And now I need repairs. Very badly. I mean, it's fine. The sword is fine. Really fine. Yeah, I do. I'm just like full of excuses. Amazing how many excuses I have.
Greetings, good night.
Yeah.
Good luck, then.
Anything else I need repaired? Yes. Oh my god, that's terrible. Okay. I need a tailor. I need an expert tailor. And unfortunately, there's like 2 in the world, or the province. I'm sure there's more in the world. Actually, hold on. Let me first have another marigold decoction. See if I can actually get away with a tailor's kit. Get away with using a tailor's kit on anything. That's something. Damn. Go all rogue and stealth kill all in the castle. Can I do that? Love to. There's a tailor all the way in Sasau, but it might be better to just go back and let Teresa do it. I'm just gonna screw it. I'm just gonna let Teresa do it. Teresa can fix my clothes naturally. Oh, I'm gonna encounter the same snare, aren't I? Oh no, it was right around here. Oh, I guess I ruined their ambush by springing it. Oh, gosh. Anyway, so I was talking about Stranger Things season 4 before I got bogged down and getting my ass kicked. So the Hawkins plot, absolute A. Excellent. The California plot, I would say with 11 and with Will, I'd say that's probably like B. It was good, but it wasn't as good. Some of the backstory stuff with 11 was good, but a lot of it was pretty predictable, and a lot of it was like rehashing old territory, stuff like that. She got some fun character development. The backstory, like sort of interactions with 1 and all that was pretty cool. So there was some good stuff in there, but it wasn't as good as the stuff in Hawkins. The Russia plot it felt really pointless to me. And realistically, the only part of that was really redeeming was right at the end, when minor spoilers, out of context spoilers, let's say, when Sheriff what's his name manages to behead a Demogorgon with a Conan sword. Yeah, Stranger Things. The 4th season. Yeah, the most recent
Henry.
4th season.
Congratulations on your victory in the tournament.
Thanks.
I've got something that needs stitching up. Could you do it for me?
All right. I can't have you walking around in torn rags, can I? Show it here.
Yeah, all of this stuff. That does everything, right? Oh, well, not what I'm not wearing. It's fine. Anything else I need fixing? No, we're good. We are excellently good. You think Super Woke ruined the show? Really? I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was really all that bad. I think there were perhaps some issues. Let me put it this way. Let me say this first of all. I say this as well. I did not watch season 3, mostly because it was kind of pointless, and season 2 was already on the way downhill. There was some, I don't know if I'd call it woke, really, in season 2. But there were some really dumb things in season 2. Hopper is the guy's name. That's what I was thinking of. I will say that he The replacement of the masculine with the feminine? Kind of. Kind of. I will say that especially once you hit season 2, and from what I hear, 3 is just as bad. 4 kind of redeems him a little bit, but Hopper in season 2 and in 3, as I understand 3, again, I haven't seen it, but certainly in season 2, is just a terrible male role model caretaker figure. He basically just degenerates into a bad dad, and I kind of hate that because he was a great protector in season 1, and it feels like he kind of dropped that in season 2 and just became a sort of grouchy bad dad, you know. Season 4, he's in a Russian prison, so you know, whatever. He fights a Demogorgon with a Conan the Barbarian replica sword. That was pretty cool. Everything else about that whole like C plot was like C ranking at best. It felt like a waste of time.
Good day.
Good day, sir.
What do you think of Master Kizo?
He definitely knows what he's doing. And all that wild talk of his, rockets and such like. I'd almost let him try it out, but on some other castle.
Do you think there's any truth in it?
I've never seen such weapons used, so I can't really judge. But if his ideas worked, they'd change the way we make war. He showed me some of the drawings he has with him. I don't know if he's a genius or a madman. Goodbye.
Having looked through and read what I can of some of the actual manuscripts of his masterwork, genius or madman, it's up in the air. It really could go either way. Really could go either way. Hey, here we go. Nice.
Now, let's see how strong those walls are.
Let it rip!
Ooh. Oh. Not the chicken.
That was just the first shot. The trebuchet has to be calibrated. That's perfectly normal.
He's right, actually.
I'll have the range in no time.
He is right, actually. Range finding is a hell of a thing with a catapult. It's notoriously hard to calculate such things.
Move! Move! Damn it, I have to get to Sir Divish! Sir! They're coming. There's no time.
Someone bring water. Breathe, man. You'll be all right. Who's coming?
There's an army on the way. And they're carrying the colors of Havel Medic of Valdek. And they're very close.
Havel Medic. He's surely not coming to help us.
Not that bastard. I have a score to settle with him.
Now, I don't know if he was here to actually help the defense, or if he's just here to attack.
Gentlemen,
because
Toth's reinforcements are about to descend
I guess
on us.
okay, fine. Reinforcements.
How many men?
We don't know exactly, but there are many, and they will probably be here by dawn.
So soon? How is it that we knew nothing about this before?
The whole land is in chaos. It's a wonder we can find out anything at all.
If they attack from the rear,
we'd be finished, just as Toth has been planning.
A sneaky weasel.
He's been one step ahead of us the whole time.
Not this time, though.
What are you thinking?
Robard, how do you think the weather will be tomorrow?
Well, sir, if my joints don't deceive me, and they rarely do, it'll rain. It'll rain buckets.
Here. We'll make a stand here, I and Radzig's men. You will wait until they charge us, and then strike them from the rear. Here and here. If we succeed, we'll have it over and done with before they notice anything in Townburg.
It might just work. But we'll have to leave someone in the encampments in case they do come out of Talberg.
A few men will be all I need.
Well, that depends on whether you can hold out. We don't even know how many there are.
We will hold out.
I'll give the orders to my men.
We will be ready.
So what's Henry doing?
My part in the battle, sir.
Oh.
I wanted to go with the Skalitz men.
I need more than that from you.
More, sir?
If we can't hold out at the quarry, we're finished. You, I, Hanish, and Radzik. And since Hanish is commanding the flank attack, Radzik is captive and I'm wounded, Captain Robard will be leading on the field.
Of course. Who better?
There's no question Robard's a good commander, but many of the men will be from Skalitz. We need someone there who knows them and has their respect.
Sir?
I see.
I mean you, Henry.
But that is... Sir, do you really think I'm someone the men could look up to?
Henry, if it weren't for you, we wouldn't even be here today. And everyone knows that. Except you, it seems. In the battle, you and a group of Skalitz men will be concealed in the woods over the road.
But sir, I think I should...
Quiet! Don't underestimate the task I'm setting you. You'll have to keep nervous men on a short rein and not attack too soon. And then conduct the attack on the rear so fiercely and quickly that the foe has no chance to react. If the line should start to break, we need someone with their head firmly on their shoulders to keep control of the men.
Very well, sir.
That's what I like to hear. When you're ready, go and join the Skalitz men. They'll be mustering in the woods above the road to Rete.
Okay. So yes, that is that's really the most essential part of any medieval campaign or any pre-modern campaign. Really is about.
You were sadly mistaken.
It's about morale. It's about making sure that the men don't break, the lines don't break.
And if there's one thing we pride ourselves on in Talmberg, it's that we defend the honor of our goats.
What? Wait, what? Excuse me?
All right.
What?
Now to business.
Was that a joke?
Get ready in the ravine before the bridge to Rovna. We'll drain their blood.
Was that meant to be a joke? Was that meant to be a joke out of world, like a joke for us, the audience, or a joke for the men? Oh, okay. That was weird. That was so weird. But all right. Gosh. Anyway, so I will. I'll also say about. Okay, so something else I've kind of thought about Eddie, Stranger Things in season 4. I don't know if you've seen season 4. It's actually good. It does return to form in a lot of ways. It does a lot of weird experimental sort of things with its narrative structure. Like I said, it has this A, B, C plot lines. One of which is way better than the others. They have there's an A ranked one, a B ranked one, and a C ranked one very clearly. But despite that, they are the season overall is still very good. And I'll say the character of Eddie is excellent. And it's not just that, hey, he's a cool guitar guy. There's a lot more to it than that. He's the DM for the kids' D&D game now in high school. The whole Hellfire Club thing. And part of what's very cool about that is because he's a nerdy sort of guy, right? He's not exactly the hero type, the real world hero type, but right, he's a nerd. He's a metalhead, but he's still kind of a nerd, and he's not exactly very bold and physically courageous. So thinking back to when we were talking about physical courage, Monday? It was Monday, right? It was the last week. I think it was Monday. A hovel. But at the same time, even despite not being this kind of really heroic type of person, he stands up by the end of it, and he sacrifices himself so that his friends might live. No greater love hath any man, and all that. And the courage he has to do that sort of thing is, I think, really fascinating, because it ties in with what I was talking about on Monday with respect to sort of virtue training, and the value of games, and the value of storytelling, and the value of sort of moral rehearsal for virtue training in virtue, becoming more virtuous. Because Eddie was sort of born and raised on heroic stories, make Lord of the Rings references all the time, which was a really odd thing to do in the 80s. Because of all of that, he was born and raised on these sort of heroic, epic adventure stories. And even though he had no notion of himself being this sacrificial hero, he wound up being it anyway, because he read it in a book, so to speak. It's an interesting archetype that you find a lot in I think older sort of coming of age stories from like the 80s and 90s especially. What I think you could call the storybook hero. Somebody who is a hero and learns to be a hero, not by actually practicing heroism and training for it and all that, but becomes a hero because they've always read about it, because they've always imagined themselves being a hero, and they've been practicing it in their head, even if not in the real world, their whole life. And I think that is first of all archetypal of the nerd, right? Or who the nerd aspires to be. And I kind of pat my own chest here because myself in this to some degree. But that is a really interesting archetype, and I think it's one worth exploring, and it's a very heroic kind of story as well. I think that aspect. Hold.
Easy, man.
I got like 8 guys.
Just a little longer.
But do I have more? No, I have literally like 8 guys. There's a lot of them.
Easy.
Jesus Christ, all the saints watch over us this day.
I was going to say songs, pray for us.
Not yet.
Through this day, I swear I'll take my honor to the altar.
Damn it, Mark! They were expecting us! First troops to the bridge! Break through! Vanguard! To the left! And the rest, come with me! We'll flank the bastards!
At them! Charge! Grind those horsens into the dirt!
Whoa, this sword is unbelievable. Come on, really? Jesus. Alright. That went well. This sword is unbelievable. Sir Hanish. Where?
To the bridge! We have to help them!
Stab him in the back of the neck. Sorry, Sir Hanish. Didn't mean to stab you. I didn't just kill him, did I? I know this sword is basically a lightsaber. Actually, the more appropriate Star Wars weapon metaphor, given the piercing strength of this stupid thing, the more appropriate Star Wars metaphor would be a blast sword. A fascinating little melee weapon from Adumar. That is a one-handed dueling sword, so like a saber kind of thing, with a blaster embedded in the tip that fires when you stab.
Respect, Divish.
Brilliant.
You need it when you kneel before Istvan. Oh, now the pup shows his teeth.
Istvan, you say? Not Sir Istvan? Or Lord Toth? Just how intimate are the two of you?
I know him. He's Eric, Toth's captain and right-hand man.
Finally, some good news. Shackle him and guard him closely.
Those bastards want to destroy our trebuchet.
Okay. Fend him off. No, I can't just call my horse. Never mind. Okay. We're kind of far. Also, kind of love how Henry can basically run as fast backwards. Not quite, actually. Not quite as fast. He can actually move more quickly forward than backwards. That's good. That's a bit of realism. I'm glad. But he's quite the backwards runner, and will stay still, regardless. I actually don't remember. What was I just talking about before the combat started? I was talking about Eddie as a sort of storybook hero kind of thing, but there was something else. There's something after that I started talking about, then dropped. What it was. Aha! Here we go. Let's go faster. Excuse me. What the hell was that? Did anyone a mercy kill? Yeah. Alright, where else? Captain? Ah, there we go. This is getting worse. Ooh, ouchies.
We almost have them! Finish them off! They've nowhere to hide!
This is really wildly unnecessary on the battlefield, and you should never do that.
Now we've got them!
Like, finishing strikes are wildly impractical on the battlefield. You shouldn't do that. That will get you and your friends killed. It'll happen. Forgot. Shouldn't do that. In fact, the lack of killing blows on the battlefield, the lack of killing blows like that, was a major reason for the relative survivability of medieval battles, at least initial survivability. Which is why, like, probably the majority of battlefield deaths, depending on time period, depending on location, depending on circumstances, but I would say probably the majority of battlefield deaths throughout the Middle Ages were due to infection after the fact. They were not due to actually being killed on the battlefield.
Well,
because armor is so
the
incredibly
damage
effective.
isn't too serious.
so we can shoot.
You get your ass kicked. You'll get hurt. You'll get incapacitated.
Sir, what
Get
are
maybe
we
mortally
waiting for?
wounded, but
You've
won't,
heard his
you probably
threats,
won't die
Rupard.
immediately.
Do you want him to kill Radzig and my wife? We have to consider all our options.
Like what?
And it would be a shame to destroy the castle, too. But how do we get that rat out of there?
So, I might have a solution. What about exchanging hostages? He was the captain at Vranjik, and he brought Istvan's reinforcements here. He seems to be on very intimate terms with Toth. He might be able to tell us something. And he might even be as valuable to his lord as Lady Stephanie and my father are to us.
You're your father's son, by God.
You're a godsend, lad. You're right. We'll interrogate this whore, son, and then decide what to do next. Come to my tent when you've rested.
I love that if the implications of this are correct, they were ballsy enough to have a sodomite arch-villain. Epic. That hasn't been a common thing in mainstream media since the first Iron Man. It was, by the way, in the first Iron Man. A lot of people forget that the first major villain of the MCU was gay. Bunch of arms and weapons that I'll just leave there. Don't actually need those even slightly. I'll talk to Robart though.
God be with you.
With your spirit. Nothing.
Good luck,
Never mind.
man.
Just kidding. Let's keep on keeping on. I stop now.
Start talking, or make your peace with God.
Do your worst. I won't betray my lord.
Ah, Henry, just the man I want. This fool would rather hang than sing. You know more about him than we do, so maybe you can get something out of him.
Just maybe. Worth a try, huh?
Well now, Eric. It is Eric, isn't it? Looks like the boot's on the other foot this time, doesn't it?
Fuck you.
You need to change your tone. If you start being nice, you might just come out of this alive. So now I'll ask you a few questions, and you better think carefully about how you answer them.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I have all of these. I can best him in most places here. So I think.
Who is this Toth?
He's an orphan, same as me. The Turks killed his parents, so he started killing Turks. Sigismund needed men like that, so Istvan ended up in his service.
Okay.
How did you meet him?
He killed my parents.
What? Toth killed your parents?
You could never understand. They were weak. Istvan's strong. He took better care of me than any father.
Oh, that's horrifying.
What is he after?
Are you really that clueless? To destroy Wenceslas's allies. You.
Why?
How many men does he have in the castle?
How should I know? There were nearly 70 of us at the beginning, but there's probably not even half left. But that's still more than there ever were in that castle. More than enough to defend it.
That is true.
Who does he take his orders from?
Are you stupid? He works for Sigismund.
Freud? Achievement Freud? Finding his past? That's interesting. I mean, the whole, my parents were weak, and so him killing them was in order to help me and to make me better off. That's a really interesting kind of coping mechanism, I guess you'd say. Like that. It's almost a kind of Stockholm Syndrome. A way of dealing with horrible trauma by sort of justifying it to yourself.
Listen to me. Toth has hostages in the castle, and we have you. So, how about an exchange?
Do you take him for a fool? Do you really think he'd give up the only thing he has that stops you from attacking? He'll never accept an exchange.
You better pray he will, for your own sake. Because once we attack, you'll be worthless to us. And what do you suppose will happen to a worthless bandit? I won't waste any more time on you. You could have saved yourself, but apparently you value your master's skin more than your own.
I don't need to save myself. Istvan will save me. And he'll kill every last one of you.
Why should he save you? He'll sacrifice you, just like everyone in Vranjik and Pribyslavitz. You're nothing but a common bandit.
You don't know anything. He'll come for me, and anyone who lays a finger on me will pay dearly.
Now I'm curious. Why would he care that much about you? Could it be your lovers?
You never understand.
No.
For a while there, I thought we'd get nothing out of him. But in the end, he spilled his guts.
I thought you were much too easy on him. But it seems your approach was the right one. Well done, lad. Anyway, it's clear that young fellow is no ordinary brigand. And he believes Toth cares about him. We'll just have to see if the bastard cares as much about him as Divish does about his wife and you about your father.
Alright. I'm getting a lot of money for all these quests, and with very little to spend it on.
Well, Divish, I think the time has come to find out just how much Toth values our hostage. Do you want to parley with him yourself?
I think I'll leave that to you, Hanish.
So be it. I'll do my utmost. Bring the hostage below the battlements.
You can see this going a couple of ways. One being that he flies off the handle and goes into a rage. Another being that he, Toth, that is, that he basically just says, no, to hell with that, to hell with him. And then Eric here betrays him because he felt betrayed. I could even see perhaps somebody on the battlements, like, so Toth ordering him shot, so that they won't have a hostage.
Sir Istvan!
What is it? Did our
We'll see.
neighbourly visit catch you unprepared?
A little, but we've settled in nicely. And this fellow is enjoying our company so much, we simply can't get rid of him. It seems we are in similar situations. Perhaps it's time to send our respective guests home.
Not a chance. Do you take me for a fucking fool? Be
Yes,
warned.
but
If anything happens to Eric, I'll let every man jack here have his way with this bitch, and I'll dice Kobila into goulash meat.
Nobly spoken, your grace. But for all I know, you may have done that already.
Divish, I'm sorry.
Greetings, friends. Fear not, Lord Toth is treating us like royalty.
They're unharmed,
Really?
as you can see.
Uh,
But don't try any tricks, or they
he
won't
really,
be for long,
he's got the
Hanish.
composure. Just top-notch composure
It
there.
seems your
Geralt
lord
dad.
doesn't place any great value in you, boy.
Go to hell.
I'm sorry. It looks like it's not going to be that easy.
Well, at least we know they're alive. I didn't expect much of it anyway.
He won't harm them as long as we have this fellow.
That is a good sort of safety net.
Well, friends,
Nothing else.
what do you suggest?
I'd say we have no choice but to attack.
It's a great risk, Robard, with Stephanie and Radzig inside.
I know how you feel, sir, but Toth is no fool. They are his last safeguard. He will do nothing to harm them until he is sure of victory.
Would you be saying that if it were your wife inside?
Or your father?
Well, let me point out that we have no choice anyway. We don't have enough supplies to keep men here for weeks, while gangs of brigands and Sigismund's army roam the countryside. Toth won't agree to an exchange, and even if he did, we'd have to let him go. With all his men, he'd be a thorn in our sides till Judgment Day.
Sir, a message has arrived.
Oh, what is it?
Margrave Jobst is approaching with his retinue and wants to speak with you.
Jobst, you say?
Ooh.
All right.
What is he doing here?
Who's Jobst?
Jobst of Luxembourg is cousin to King Wenceslaus and Sigismund. He's the Margrave of Moravia.
Only a year ago, he was collaborating with Sigismund and the League of Lords. He betrayed King Wenceslas and his ally Prokop. Now, he's changed sides, appointed himself the leader of the rebellion against Sigismund, and wants to liberate Wenceslas.
Whichever way the wind blows.
Nevertheless, it seems the decision is made for us. We don't want Jobst camping with us in front of our own castle like a band of gypsies.
I'm afraid you're right, Hanish. All right. We'll let the men rest a while and then attack. Come to me when everything is ready.
All right. Oh. Hey, we built a nice little wall around the crochet. That's handy. All right. Before we do that, I think let me cheat. Let me see if I actually need to fix any of my stuff. Sword's a little hurt. Yeah, some of my clothes are a little bit damaged. Not terribly, but enough to want to fix it. Enough to want to fix them. So I'm going to go to the... here we go. I'm going to go to the bathhouse. See that? Try that trick out that Tom mentioned last week. That perk I've never gotten use out of.
Yeah.
I assume this bathhouse is still like... Oh, it's not in operation, is it? It is... The entire town is closed down, isn't it? Yeah, no, there's no one here. I should have known that. It's fine then, I guess. I mean, what am I talking about? I have repair kits. I don't need to bother. Anyway. So yeah, none of that. I guess I'll use repair kits. That'll be fine. Now I need, those. Let me see if I have full-size armors kits. I think I do. Oh. All right. Still didn't fix it? All right, whatever. It's fine. Let's continue on along.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah. So Divish.
I'm glad you came.
At your service, sir.
I'm about to give the order to bombard Talmberg. And since it's mainly thanks to you that we still have a trebuchet, I think you should have the honor of the first shot.
I'd be delighted.
Cool.
To smash my castle? I can't say I share your
Oh, well,
enthusiasm.
still, it's cool, though.
Sorry, sir. I didn't mean it like that.
There's nothing to it. The men will load the trebuchet. All you have to do is pull the lever.
Well, I suppose I could manage that.
Then we'll bombard Talmberg for several days. Sir Robard will explain what comes next. God be with you.
Days? Really? That doesn't seem right to me. I don't know. I'm not actually sure. I don't know too much about the specific, I guess, damage levels that a trebuchet of this size can deal against a castle and castle walls. So maybe I guess it taking several days is possible. I mean, I can understand why a castle is built to withstand absolutely anything. And it can pretty much withstand anything that within the technology of the day. Like, if you think about it, it is like a 8 to 10 foot thick stone wall. Good luck doing anything to that. Even hurling rocks at that large, even hurling quite large rocks at an 8 to 10 foot thick stone wall, it's not going to do too very much. Just gotta hope you shake something loose sufficiently. Gosh, I'm also reminded of something
Load
that
the trebuchet.
I learned about the old Spanish conquistador Castillos, especially throughout my area, Florida, southern United States, around the Caribbean, that sort of thing. That they made the insides of their walls packed with mortar and coquina shells. They use shells for stability. The main reason for this is that they will shatter. The shells will shatter, which basically works like modern sort of ceramic armor. So it dissipates the energy of a projectile. The projectile will, because it's basically loose packed inside the walls, the projectile will basically expend all of its energy getting through and then just shattering things throughout inside, and will just get lodged in there. And a projectile lodged inside of a wall is just more structure for the wall. That is not actually going to damage the wall at all. So basically, what you wind up having is you're bombarding the wall with cannon fire at that point, 17th century, 17th, and you're hitting it with cannon fire, and you're just reinforcing the wall. You're not actually damaging the damn thing. Loading it up. Probably wait until this guy is clear. Huh. Those are pretty big projectiles. Now, I recognize that having said all of this, that, yeah, a castle wall can really take quite the punishment. Those are pretty big projectiles. Okay, where's the lever? Let's get out of the way. Okay, let's do it. Whee! Oh, that sounded very damaging. That sounded very damaging. Excellent.
There was precious little in it, and we could have lost everything.
That's how it goes in war. But God stood by us. And in the end, they're nothing but a bunch of filthy cutthroats. They're sneak thieves and assassins. But does that make them real soldiers?
Well, they're apt to wait till a man nips off into the bushes to relieve himself, lifts up his chainmail tunic, and stab him in the back. Personally, I'd rather face a proper soldier.
Because you know just who you're up against. That's probably why Toth is giving us such a hard time.
Divish said...
Sir Divish.
Sir Divish said you tell me what happens next.
We're going to watch Istvan shitting himself.
That's all?
For a few days at least. So if you have anything to attend to, now's the time. Just don't forget to come back. God be with you.
Okay. Two-day bombardment. I want to watch another one. Wait, why do I still have to talk to him? None of our attacks succeeded. I still have to talk to him. Why do I still have to talk to him? I mean, I will, but odd. I'll wait until after this shot goes off, because, you know, another trebuchet. I don't want to miss that.
God save you, Henry.
Thank you, sir. I want to watch, though. Man, that is a really innovative pulley mechanism. Oh, wow. And this was also before any kind of quick release mechanism had been invented. So basically, what the lever does is it removes a stop from ratcheting wheels. So all of this whole apparatus here, this all needs to unwind as it swings upwards. That is grossly inefficient. I mean, it's efficient enough, I guess. I mean, it works. But man, that's really inefficient. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again. Do it again. I'm gonna do it again. He's gonna do it. Okay. This guy's gonna do it. Alright. Oh, that was way too close to my head. Oh. Need to talk to Captain Robert.
Is something the matter?
A few of them have taken to their heels. If they stop in Kutenberg, I'll be glad enough. But I fear they may have other plans.
If those were the best of Istvan's men, they could be lurking in the woods. They'll probably wait to attack us at the worst possible moment.
My fear exactly.
Yeah.
I won't breathe easy until Toth is hanging from the gate. But in the meantime, I'll be glad to know the woods at my back are clear. Can I count on you?
Of course, Sir Robert. Would you like me to bring back their gear as evidence they're dead?
That's not necessary. I trust you, Hal. You don't even have to do the killing, just let me know where you find them and that'll be that. There's no need for you to get hurt in the process.
I'll be fine.
I'm here.
Can't you see we're still bombarding? You came too soon.
Okay, yeah, I knew that, but... Okay, encampments. Let's go to C first. We'll loop around them all. All right. Out of the zone. Aha!
You're in the wrong place at the wrong
Okay,
time.
fine.
Hey! Enjoy this. Over here! Where
is everyone? Quick! Hey! All of you, gather here! Raise the alarm!
Christ!
Nick?
Okay, never mind. Thanks, Mike. You took care of it. All right, taken care of. Glad I have such a wonderful attack dog. I mean, I know that Captain Robart said don't worry about killing them, but there were 3 guys, 2 of whom were in their skivvies. I think I was okay attacking them. Any of this actually worth taking? No, not really. I need a nap. That's what I need. All right. On to the next one. A, right? Up there? Oh, not right up there. It's way up there. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a little ways off. I'll get there.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, a cairn. Little lake. I can't believe I can hear the crashing of the trebuchet from here.
Now I've got you.
Oh, that's a poacher. Oops. Well, okay. That's, it seems this is not the camp. Oh well. I'm still poaching in my woods. I am officially the woodsman here, so... Or the Master Hunter, that's what it's called. I am the Master Hunter here in these here woods. So I was well within my right to shoot that man where he stood. Get some perspective here. God, this is such a huge area.
Yeah.
I assume they're down there where that campsite is marked, but maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah.
Oops. Too far. A bit too far. Ah,
Hey, who's that?
here they are.
Well, crawling out
Raise
from
the alarm! Watch out! All right, now you're
Get in.
dead.
What's the matter? Come on.
Hey, all. You call that combat? Boa, yeho.
What have we got here?
Ooh, wait, what?
Two arms! Get over here!
Christ!
I think that's it, right? Still in combat, but... Take it. All right. Very hard for that. That's all. Okay. So yeah, this is not going to take me 2 days. No, sir.
Yeah.
Yep. Ridiculous. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh, look, a deer. Can your horse die? Oh, your horse can get hurt. Or did I just get hurt? I just got hurt. Got hurt. Okay. Whoops.
Yeah.
My bad. Hi, Disciple Mike. Welcome back. How you doing? We're actually pretty close to finished with this game. It'll probably be next week. We're in the sort of end game stage, although we have been for now 3 weeks. The end game of this game is way more extended than I initially would have thought. We are currently, well, right now I'm chasing down bandits in the aid of the counter siege of Talmberg.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome. Hello.
What are you doing here?
Have you any idea who I am?
Indeed, a suspicious person roaming about in the woods on guarding.
Then I hope you're guarding them well.
guarding.
As I am Henry of Skalitz, the new master huntsman of Talmberg.
Oh. Ah. Right. I was just doing my job.
Very well. But now, gamekeeper, don't detain me any longer.
Of course, Master Huntsman. My apologies.
That's all right.
Can I ask him if he has seen, any bandits in the area? Because I'm looking for a bandit camp. It's got quite a nice little blind there. Where? It says I found it, but I didn't find it. Okay, that's weird. It says I found it, but they're nowhere in sight. I guess I got close enough to trigger it. It's weird. Mike asks, how did I like the monastic part of the game? Always been the element that reminded me of replaying again. Yeah, it was really cool. I actually really liked it. I talked about it quite a bit while I was doing it, because it took maybe 3 weeks. Interesting. Yeah, it took maybe 3 weeks. And it was very cool. It was the sort of monastic life elements of it were quite realistic. I mean, as is most of this game, honestly. Like, complimenting this game for being realistic is like complimenting water for being wet. But it's worth saying nonetheless. It's sound. But yeah, it's very cool. It was very neat. Like I said, very authentic, but also because it was so authentic, because monastic life is authentically wonderful. It was wonderful. It was delightful. It was pleasant. Difficult, I will say, just from a mechanical standpoint. It was a very different gameplay experience than the rest of the game. But at the same time, but it was very, very good. Atmospherically, especially, as a sort of stepping away from the sort of main mechanics of the game, because again, I didn't do this in a straight shot of just sort of playing through the game at a normal pace. I did weekly streams for 3 hours apiece, and that was probably a 10-hour segment or more, and so it took over 3 weeks to finish. I had almost forgotten how to use a sword afterwards. So yeah, it was pretty great. I did appreciate the difference in gameplay, the difference in tone, and just the simple beauty of monastic life. You get a nice little insight into that. Mike says, I spent some time living with the Benedictines in New Mexico. Beautiful experience in real life. Absolutely. I've never like done a real extended retreat or lived among them really or anything, but I've mentioned this before. I teach at a Benedictine monastery. I teach at a university with a Benedictine abbey. St. Leo University, where I primarily teach, has a Benedictine abbey. Was founded as a Benedictine abbey, and so there are monks who take classes, who teach classes in my department, even things like that. And and there's a wonderful, beautiful abbey church.
I found all of their campsites. The rest of the woods are clear.
That's a relief. Now let's relieve ourselves of this accursed Toth.
Well, not yet. Let's wait. Really? Wait until the 2-day bombardment. Okay. Well, we have to wait now. Actually, hold on. What time is it? Oh, it's not that late. Let's go and visit Teresa again. Let's should do that. Visit our why does Henry refuse to marry her? Teresa. I mean, I will say he is now more than ever, but he was even shortly before in a perfectly viable position to ask her to marry him and just get married and have her live with him in Privoslavets, that place where he I'm just gonna try and avoid it. Yay. That town where he's the bailiff. But oh, whatever. No, I will say, I've had my criticisms of the sort of administration of Saint Leo before, especially, and I've talked about this somewhat on stream, without names at least so far, that I've butted heads, let's say, with some of the say secular administrators. This was over over COVID policies, year and a half back, give or take, 3 semesters ago. When we had some administrators who were just explicitly, when I was told by an administrator that that COVID policies were made up, literally just made up. That there was no ethical, scientific, or any other principles guiding their decision making. It was purely arbitrary. And again, this was something where obviously I butted heads with them, because this is, like most universities, it's largely run not by scholars and not by priests and clerics, as it should be. It's Benedictine University, but instead are run by bureaucrats with fake degrees. So you know how it is.
I put on the dress you gave me, Henry. What do you think?
Wouldn't you like to take a stroll somewhere?
It's a bit late now. We'd be coming home in the dark. Another time, all right?
Hey, lad!
Let me take off my coif, because I forgot I was wearing the stupid coif. Here. That said, all that said, it is undeniably better, despite that particular issue that of course, is a real problem. Despite that, it is undeniably better than, say, most secular universities. Certainly better than I've also taught at and went to the University of South Florida. That the administration there is certainly no. It's far more absurdly bureaucratic. Although I will say, on a positive note, that as far as COVID policies go, after, funny enough, roughly after after fall 2020, so after roughly the election, as I kind of predicted, the COVID policies at Florida's public university system became a lot less insane by the mandate of the governor. And if you know anything about me, you will know that I am very, I will very, very seldom. I will very seldom compliment anything that any government does. But forcing universities to have sane COVID policies, even though it took a while. Well, let's just say that was one of the things I've greatly appreciated about Governor DeSantis. Yeah, I do think that, what's this? Ooh, I'll take that. Take that. Sit and read. Mike says, I attend Holy Apostles in Massachusetts, all purely online. Will attend in person soon. So glad it's after all this COVID stuff. Yeah, do an hour, and then I'll let it just gradually work on it as sleep and stuff. Yeah, God, I will say, and I talked about this before in, if you recall my video on,
Hey,
Pilgrim
lad,
Experiments.
don't you want a little wager on the Rat-Aid tourney?
So my video on the Milgram experiments, my class lecture, I actually brought this up in class, that I think I've been there. Worth looking. Neuhoff. This? That. Forget, is it over the water? Might be there. Might be that. Oh, okay. Okay. It's on the other side of the river. That's hard to decipher. It's really hard to decipher. That's the river, or is it over here somewhere? I don't know. I can't figure it out. Absurd. Anyway, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna talk to Teresa. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so what I was saying, in that video, I don't know if you've seen it, but it was one of my classroom lectures, and it was one of those things where I was very forthright, upfront, and even, I would say, quite confrontational about COVID policy stuff. And I pointed out that I had participated in a lot of absolutely heinous things that I absolutely, obviously, should not have. That it was grossly wrong for me to have participated in. And that I basically just got sort of roped into it. That I should not have. I should have known better. In fact, I did know better at the time, but I did it anyway. That it's it's not good. I'm over encumbered. I'm dressed lightly. Anyway, it's fine. Yeah, in other words, I should have known better, and I in fact did know better, but I still agreed under some level of duress, but nonetheless, I still ultimately agreed. Is Teresa still asleep? Yeah. I still ultimately agreed to participate in the what amounted to the torture, the psychological torture of a great many of my students, who I am to some degree responsible for. The not just the sort of what you would reasonably call emotional abuse, but then also educational malpractice. Right? I was willing to keep going and keep trying to experiment with this whole like hybrid classes thing. This half the class is online and half the class is in person, like sitting in the classroom, and the other half is on the screen over by Zoom. That kind of absolute nonsense. I somewhat willingly participated in that, and now again, not enthusiastically. I complained the whole time. I did the best that I could, but I was still participating in it. I was still allowing that to carry on in a way that was, I think, extremely deleterious to everyone. So again, I bear some level of responsibility for a lot of what was done, but that said, obviously, the people who actually decided on these policies, and as we know now, entirely arbitrarily, yeah, they should never be. Should never forget what was done and by whom. Say.
Thank you for the dress, Henry. It's really lovely.
Wouldn't you like to take a stroll somewhere?
I'd love to.
I mean, sure, I had a good will at the time. But I should have come up with a better solution. I should have been able to. There were better things I know now, and I even realistically I knew at the time there were better things I should have been doing. Honestly, I knew at the time, and I insisted at the time, and I told everyone at the time, that a fully online class was better, especially educationally, was better than this weird hybrid format that we were doing. But at the same time, I think that I was helping to some degree. There were other ways in which the fact that I was choosing to actually come into class, that was helpful. Because I know I was thanked by quite a few of my students for having class in person. Because for a lot of them, for a substantial number, my class was literally the only reason they ever
Time
had
passes so
throughout the
quickly
week
with you, Henry.
to get out of bed. These were students who, like, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, kids, student age kids, who did not leave their rooms. Oh, jeez. Why did I do that? Who did not leave their rooms at all, except for once a week to come to one class. It's terribly sad to see people go through that. People put through that. And not to basically have no recourse for it. It's basically, I mean, it was effectively grave depression inflicted on them. Yeah, sad time to be a 21-year-old. Yeah, I can't imagine. I absolutely can't imagine. Like, the people who were in, not just 21-year-old, but like anyone really. I mean, anyone at any stage of life, really. But kids, just generally children and adolescents. The fact that they were so prevented from experiencing these milestones in their lives was completely stopped from sports, from extracurricular stuff, from hell, everything just associated with school. Hell, just doing things with your friends for a year in some places. Thankfully, it was only a relatively short amount of time here, but relatively short meaning like a full year. Like a full year to a kid is a huge amount of time. Losing out on that all that experience that they're never going to get back. That we older people, more older than me still, but a lot of people my age, a lot of very terrible people my age were responsible for this to some degree. But older people taking this away from them, they will never get back. They'll never be able to get back. We have perhaps irreparably damaged a whole generation. And I mean, I say this often, that lockdowns started the day after my daughter's second birthday, my oldest daughter's second birthday. She turned 2, and then the next day, the world stopped. And in most places, and for most things, it stopped for at least 2 whole years. And so there was a point where, for a full half of her life, nothing had been even remotely normal. Thankfully, we're sort of moving on. We're getting somewhere better, coming back to something normal, to some degree, not fully, but to some degree. And you know, it's 2 years is a very long time, especially for a kid, especially for a kid who's 2. And hell, my son was born shortly after that. He was born in May 2020. And so the first couple of years of his life were crazy, insane. And I will say, I think it affected Saoirse, the older one, a little more so than it did Michael, who was younger at the time. Just because Saoirse was old enough for it to make a difference. But she wasn't out playing and interacting with kids when she was 2, 3, even a little bit into 4 years old. And we did as best we could. We did as best we could getting her out with people, but there were a lot of people who either just weren't going out and interacting with anybody. I have 3 kids. Youngest is just turned a year old a month or so ago. One of them, Michael, has been on the stream twice, I think. Once when he was a tiny little baby, I was hanging out with him. It was on the last episode of our Red Dead Redemption 2 stream. I brought him in and was chatting about stuff and hanging out to him, being all cute. The other time was he just sort of burst in here at one point because he refused to go to bed. That was relatively recently. But yeah, it's yeah, like I said, I do think that it affected Saoirse far more because she was older. She was old enough that she would have benefited from interacting with people, but couldn't, prohibited from doing so, and that had some very detrimental effects, I think. And I think really, I still think that the whole that the lockdowns had a serious long-term deleterious effect on both of my kids' ability to sit through mass. They both have serious problems in mass, and I think it's because we spent close to 2 years not going. Because I mean, Saoirse had been very well behaved when she was very, very little. Anyway, on a lighter note, check this out. See this? This design of a bar with what looks like curtain designs underneath it. This is fascinating to me because this was, when this game was made, thought to be extremely authentic as we have records of paintings and drawings of interior castle walls that have patterns like this on them. However, since then, like within the last year or two, it has been discovered or determined that it is far more likely that this is in fact not a pattern, but that this was a common way of decorating interior walls in the Middle Ages, where they would have a bar on the wall and have like ringed curtains that they would use as either a solid color like this or have patterns and have brocades or brossades or brochades or whatever, however you can pronounce that word. Decorative tapestries and things that would be hung like this all around the walls. It would be basically like a medieval wallpaper. I mean, that is young for mass. Fair enough, I suppose. It's certainly, even still, Saoirse, my oldest, is 5 now, which is still pretty young for paying attention for any length of time. But before that, she was at least she was very well behaved. She would be quiet. She would sit still. She would be relatively good. But then after we stayed home for a year and a half, 2 years, I think it had a serious negative effect. All right. Well, we gotta wait another day, so at least another part of a day. So I'm gonna go hungry. Yeah. Henry's got munchies. Let's have my. Go upstairs. Have a sleep. Hey, Kevin, how you doing? Kevin says there's an ancient Mexican pattern on a Chinese buffet restaurant wall in a small town where I live. So I understand the nuances. I dig it. That's actually, like, that sort of thing seems weirdly common to me. Maybe it's not as common as I sort of instinctively think, but it seems like that's pretty common to have. Maybe it's a Chinese and Mexican restaurants thing, but they seem to borrow each other's decor quite a bit. Like, you get a bunch of former Mexican restaurants that are now a Chinese restaurant, and they just slightly alter the decor rather than replacing it, and vice versa. So maybe it's something like that. That'd be my best guess. It's 11. And I have to get up mightily early in the morning. And I know, Kevin, you just got here. And I know I'm about to apologize. But I think I might actually call it a night here. Seeing as we just saved. But I do have to get up awfully early in the morning. And this is probably a reasonable stopping point that will give next week something close to a full-length stream, even if not completely. So I think what I will do, again, out of unfortunate necessity, because I don't think I'll be able to finish. First of all, I doubt I'll be able to finish this game in 1 hour. I have my doubts. And so we'd be cutting off at some awkward point. But then also, like I said, I gotta get to bed. So if we finish in, I don't know, 2 hours or under 3 hours next week, hey. Then like I said, I might actually show off the 3D model. Excuse me, the 3D model design for the town that I've built for my D&D setting. If you follow if you're friends with me on Facebook, you've seen it. I've also been putting it in the Discord, so if you're in there, you've probably seen it. But going through it in 3D space, also pretty cool. Anyway, I am going to call it a night. Thank you both, and well, all of you. I'm going to come back. Thank you for joining me. I had a good time. I'm almost done with this game, and like I've said before, I'm thinking about what to play next. I'm still leaning pretty hard towards Hogwarts Legacy next for Wednesday nights. But if you've got inputs on that, or you'd like to see something else, let me know. If you'd like to really help me upgrade my computer so I can get it going nice and smooth instead of problematically, feel free to donate right down there at Ko-fi.com/Professor McCoy. I greatly appreciate it if you do. Otherwise, I'm also thinking vaguely about switching to or adding a stream on Kick, because I've been hearing good things about it. So if you'd be interested in following me over there, if you would, let me know. If you definitely wouldn't, feel free to be honest and let me know that as well. I am thinking about it, just because I have heard that it's nice over there, apparently. It's a great little Twitch alternative that's better than Twitch in basically every way. Might be worth trying out. Might do it for that one. Maybe not. We'll see. I am still going to be doing some stuff on YouTube, obviously. If nothing else, my regular videos are going to be here. Anyway, though, I hope to see you again on Monday night. I am going back to Mass Effect Andromeda. We probably have another 2 or 3 weeks of that one as well. We're pretty close to the end of that one. And then we'll see what I'm going to do next on Monday. I'm leaning towards Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and then seeing if I can pick up Jedi Survivor by the time I'm done with it, maybe. I don't know if my computer will handle it. We'll see. Thinking about it, though. Anyway, those are some plans coming up. That's what's coming. Like I said, if I do wind up having time eventually, I would like to have a couple of videos coming out in the next few weeks. We'll see when I have time to record and get them all done. Keep an eye out for those sorts of things. Anyway, otherwise, remember, don't be safe, be well. And more importantly, be good. Night, everyone.